Hey, everybody. It's time for the Film Tangents podcast. How was your week? Was it good or was it pretty shitty? Let us know down in the comments. We got Jack back on the show this week.
Hey, hey.
Boo.
Boo!
Boo
Yeah,
him, everybody. Boo him in the
Okay.
comments.
forced his way onto the pod, onto this
Yeah.
episode.
I
He
fought the
was
Clips guy again.
Yeah, he was dismissed this season, but he's pulling a George Costanza and tried to show up pretending he
But
didn't,
then they didn't get fired.
get. Yeah. Um, don't forget to like the video, comment down below your thoughts on this week's movie and what you'd like us to review in the future.
Yes.
And subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss episodes and you get notified when new ones come out every Monday.
Every Monday.
Around 4 to 4:30 p.m. Depending on the week.
I actually want to give a shout out to our last commenter, Timo Jin. Timo Jin 2, I think is what his name was. Shouts out to him.
Oh yeah,
he was our commenter last week. We appreciate you, brother. Everybody keep it up. We'll give you shouts outs.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. That was a really nice comment. Keeps us, gives us a boost. Keeps us going.
Keeps us fed. Feeds our family of 12.
yeah, we're a small show,
Yeah.
we could use those boosts.
Yeah.
This week's movie is The Substance. I say we just get right into it, you guys. And then we'll have time to ramble after.
The Substance?
Not The Substance. That was last year's body horror.
It's like
Together.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up my film tangent seasons.
Yeah, dude, you're living.
It's so funny because.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, Edward. How like last year around this exact same time we had
Oscar binge.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and we did a new. It was like around this time last year we did The Substance, which was the new body horror movie at the time, and now it's Together from 2025, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie. Body horror is kind of coming back.
It is coming
interesting.
Back. Yeah,
a little bit of a comeback
on the way up.
Yeah, it was big in the 80s. Like it was. We had in the 80s. You had The Thing. You had The Fly. You had some smaller ones like From Beyond and some other Stuart Gordon stuff.
The one that we watched in the show,
Hellraiser.
Videodrome was on that time too.
Yeah, Videodrome was like late 70s, so close, right? I kind of kicked it off, I feel like.
Yeah, dude, Cronenberg. Man.
Yeah, man. You had some other Cronenberg stuff in the 80s. And then The Blob. You had The Blob. And even in like some of the non-horror stuff, but I feel like body horror kind of snuck in. When you look at something like RoboCop, there's some body horror in that.
For sure.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. I wonder if in the 80s it was just kind of a flex in terms of the effects and stuff like that. Because the 70s, it's like the films got grimier in the 70s because that's when the censors went away and it was like it's a free-for-all now. And then 80s special effects and makeup and all that got more advanced. And I feel like that snowball just kept accumulating, people wanting to flex. I think The Thing kind of raised the bar, and then people were like, oh shit, I want to show off this stuff. You had guys like Tom Savini in there, but anyway, a little preamble there. Shut up, Jake. We know you know about movies. Okay, all right.
Yeah, when you know that things are getting real when the name Tom Savini makes an appearance.
Yeah, dude.
the encyclopedia is coming out.
Legend.
Yeah, he is a legend.
I was watching a clip of him on Letterman back in the day. He would like come to Letterman sometimes and just show off his little effects. And I love it, man, because he's just demonstrating these gory, gruesome effects, and he's just kind of giggling like a kid, And you're just like, man, that was a guy who loved his work,
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, that's a dream, isn't it?
Oh man, yeah. Probably one of my favorite Savini outings is Day of the Dead, the Dawn of the Dead sequel. he's got some pretty great stuff in that movie. Some pretty gnarly ass kills and gore scenes that I still like think about sometimes. I'm like, God damn, man. All right, so Together. Yeah, I honestly, this is one of the few movies that just from the title and the cover, I already knew what the themes were.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first saw the poster and the title for this movie, I was like, "Oh, this is a movie about through a body horror lens about codependency and
Mm-hmm.
needing space from your partner, etc., all of that kind of stuff." And I was very intrigued by that early on, you know, because that's something you know, like I've had previous relationships where I struggled with that. I mean, dude, like this movie happened to me in my
Mm-hmm.
previous relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
just metaphorically, you know, not like physically, obviously.
You became a Cronenberg.
Yeah, or did it? No, I would be infinitely stupider if that did happen.
Oh,
but but no, I mean it happened. You know, it happened to the it happened to the point that it was like I can relate to this movie's themes a lot. I will say that, you know, where this metaphorically happened, that sort of psychological merging that you do often with toxic people. Um and it was to the point that toward the end of that relationship, I had this thought of like, I mean, dude, if you injected me with truth serum at the time and were like, Jake, do you want to break up with this girl? I would have said, yes. Fuck yes. You know what I mean? I resented her. I did not like her in any way, shape, or form. But it was like her pain was my pain,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. I've described it like this before. Like it's like you're standing on the edge of a bridge for bungee jumping, and you got the bungee cord attached, and all the safety stuff has been gone through, and the person is telling you just jump. It's fine. I promise you're going to bounce back up.
Mm.
And it, I was just like, and this being a metaphor for dumping her basically. And it was just like, I just couldn't get myself to just fall forward and
Yeah.
and it was like there was just something there, you know, like you're just like, I can't step off the ledge.
Yeah.
So I found this movie really interesting in that way, because I really think in a lot of ways it does a good job of exploring that stuff. But I want to open it up to you guys. What did you guys think? What were your positives about this movie? And what did you think about the ideas that it explored?
Jack, you want to start us off?
yeah, I could go. I mean, I thought similar things. Like, I thought it was kind of interesting, like the codependency thing, and it's just like kind of the way that they start this relationship off in the beginning of the film. Like, there was no, like, they didn't like wean you onto it. They didn't, like at least try to like show like them being like the best version of themselves in front of their friends. It was like blatantly put in your face that this relationship was just like kind of obviously not good, like from the get-go, in terms of just like, I don't know, it was weird, like her proposing to him in front of
That
all their
was
friends. Oh
that
my
was
god.
painful. That was one of the most painful scenes I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah. And then her brother's like, "Oh, I thought dating my sister would have made you more cool. It just made you a loser, basically." And he's like, "You're basically just living somebody else's." He's. Oh, I thought that was like a good kind of like way of like putting the idea in there, was like the when he says like, "I don't want somebody else's life to flash before my eyes when I die." Like just kind of like thinking about like, like the codependency and not letting your life, like losing your own self-interest and doing the things you want to do just because like you've kind of like molded to somebody else and kind of lost that individuality. um So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, he was kind of whipped uh from the get-go in that relationship, like, and not that being like and just like, oh, I'm a piece of shit basically throughout the whole movie, which I was like, but I mean, he was a 35-year-old musician with no job, still kind of like chasing his dreams. So at that point, that's kind of a tough spot to be in for him. And then move into the middle of nowhere with, his girlfriend to, be a school teacher out in this small town. Like, I thought that was just like interesting, where it was like, if he really wanted to be, he was like caught in between of like one foot in the relationship, one foot in, like trying to pursue his dream, and
Yeah.
and then it was kind of like, I'm gonna go move and do this thing, and then indecisive. They're like, oh yeah, we have an open spot for guitar. You could come play. Oh yeah, I'll do that too. It's like, I don't know. He was just all over the place. It didn't seem like he really had much of like a plan. It was just kind of like whimsical, and then she was like kind of the opposite, like steady, has the job, um just kind of going through the daily motions of things and living like a more normal life. So it's kind of cool to see like those two different sides of like a relationship get intertwined. um and the town from the get-go was kind of like, I don't know, even just like the first time you see like the bells as they're on the trail, like you're like,
Mm-hmm. So
I,
what is this
that's
about?
like, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this is like kind of weird. And I honestly completely jumped over the point of like the dogs in the beginning, like them looking for the couple. And the dogs ended up kind of drinking the water. Like, I thought that was like a cool way to foreshadow like what the movie was about, like the
Yeah.
dogs merging, and then later kind of like seeing her drawing a picture of like her dog's faces in the classroom like merged together. That
Oh
was
yeah, I
pretty
almost
cool.
forgot it. I
Yeah.
forgot that that kid did that. What was up with that? Because they never go back to that.
No.
The kid, that kid, and like who that kid might be.
I think the
Just
I
some
thought,
implication was
kid
that that
that's
kid was like that dude's daughter, like the dude that had the two dogs that like became like a
yeah,
Cronenberg dog. Yeah,
Cronin dog.
yeah, Cronin
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, you brought up an interesting point, Jack, about him being whipped because it's in the sense of this is a guy who just isn't saying what he wants, and what he doesn't want. Because that's a big part of relationships is being upfront and honest. And the reason I think people don't do that is because they're afraid they're going to lose the person if they are
yeah,
upfront and honest about what they want, which is uh, uh which is an understandable and realistic fear. It's a possibility. You could, like, you know, there's been things that I've said to my girlfriend where it's like, hey, I'm not really like looking to do that or this right now, and she could have been like, well, then goodbye,
yeah,
sir. And it would. I mean, and that's part of it. You got to be someone who has the guts to do that because if the person stays and can live with that, it can live with your boundaries or your comfort level with something or what you want or what you need, then it's great. Because I'm at a point now with my girlfriend where, we've been together for um year and a half now, and there's just there's nothing that's not on the table right now. As far as there's nothing being hidden, or there's everything's out in the open where it's like we kind of know what the other wants and what the other's looking for, what the other's not really looking for, and that's a great position to be in, you know. And you need to have the guts to do that because then you might fall into a pit and start merging.
yeah. And like he was kind of doing the half-assed kind of like saying what he wants, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like not say I want to be with you in front of all of our friends until it gets really awkward and I'm kind of like forced to say yes, but then I'll say yes.
Hmm.
But on the other side, it's like half-ass doing the things you want as well, and half-ass doing the things in the relationship, and that's just like just a half-ass thing to do.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
Mhm.
commit
I
for
don't know.
sure. Because I thought that was the. Am I interrupting you? I'm sorry. Or should
No,
I?
you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Because I thought that was like the main issue, the main thing with his character, right? It's like, when is this guy going to actually do something? Because he wasn't committed to anything. You know, like you said, it was like the whole issue with his character is very passive, and just this commitment issues where it's like, what are you doing? Like, are you moving to, like the upstate or whatever it is for this girl or not? You know, like, are you doing this relationship? Are you playing in this band? Like, what are you doing? Like, the guy basically is just this like walking thing of inaction. It's everything is just like, hey, you want to do this? And he's like, oh, maybe, kind of, okay, not really committing to anything. So I found that interesting, with his character. I think sometimes those characters can be exhausting to like watch a
Oh,
character just like
100%.
scene after scene after scene after scene, just kind of mumble and fumble and not really commit to anything and not do anything. And really, for this movie, I guess it really was just a question of like, what are you going to commit to? Right? For this guy, it's like, oh, you're 35, and the music thing didn't pan out, and like nothing has worked out seemingly for you, but you have this girl, but you resent her because she's more successful, and because you're having to, I guess, like, twist your life around her because she's the person who's actually making sure that you guys like exist, and in order to be able to accommodate her, then you have to sacrifice all these other things that you're half-assing anyway. So it's a very interesting character, the one that he had. I have to say, did anybody else get like, did any of you guys get like annoyed immediately with the vocal fry, like delivery that Dave Franco had this whole movie? Was just
I told Jake, like, as he was like, I was like, I don't think I like Dave Franco as an actor. Like, and I think this movie confirmed it for
yeah,
me. In this role, I was like, I really didn't enjoy him
yeah,
in this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. It's
Now,
interesting. Go ahead.
I I already just know his. I heavily have already heavily associated his voice with that. So yeah, Hank, Hank.
Yeah, it's that voice, dude. It's like, what are you doing? It's like the whole movie is just like, I don't know. What? Oh, like the whole movie. I was like, please
Smoker's
stop.
voice. Yeah.
There's like an
I thought it
interesting.
worked here too because he's a very,
Yes.
pussyfooting guy. So
Yeah.
he's very just like, and people who are underconfident do that. They kind of clench their vocal cords, so they talk like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
because they're afraid to project. So I thought it worked really well,
It
actually.
was interesting because I had the same thought that you had. I was like, this kind of works, but at the same time,
Mhm.
it's super annoying. And at the same
Yeah.
time, I kept thinking, I think I even wrote this as one of my notes. I was like, I don't know if this is like something that he's putting on for the role purposefully, because I think the guy actually just talks like this, So it was just a very weird, it seems like it was just like a happenstance that it works for the character, because I'm pretty sure that's just Dave Franco.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
god.
yeah. Ever since I first saw him in 21 Jump Street, and he was just his fucking just annoying as hell voice in that movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I was really annoyed with his character in this movie, but in a good way, like in the way that I was supposed to be, I
Yeah.
think, where
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
agree.
because really, I mean, um, like I talked all that shit at the beginning about my past relationship, but really, like in this movie, I think she is fairly reasonable in the first half,
Yeah.
if a little annoying at times, but I think like she's just doing everything right, and he just never. I mean, in a sense, I think the proposal was pretty bad, but
It's pretty bad.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I can forgive that was like a one off. I could forgive that, despite how cringe it was. But yeah, he's a guy who just doesn't take leadership, doesn't have direction, doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
It's like, how can I? But he had enough. There was enough there where I could empathize, sympathize, because I've been there. I've been in previous relationships, like on the fence, and not making a decision and not making it. In the words of Negan from The Walking Dead, not making a decision is a big decision,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So, um, yeah, he reminded me a lot of like Dante from Clerks, honestly, a little bit, where it's just like, you know, shit or get off the pot,
Yeah.
and he just doesn't. Um, yeah, what as far as like I will say so like overall though, let's dig into this deeper. Overall, I was pretty disappointed in this movie. I can't lie.
Yeah, do
I was
tell.
kind of disappointed. I thought it was going to be a lot better. I found this movie pretty average.
Hmm.
Which average is a strange word to use with this movie, considering how out there it is. But when I say average, I just mean quality. I don't mean content wise, anything but average in that sense. But average quality. Yeah, like I really felt it. It really the point that it really hit me was the scene where their arms are merged
Hmm.
and they use the handsaw. And like there's all these jokes being made, which by the way, I watched this movie with my girlfriend, which is the only way to watch this movie.
I watched it with myself.
Um
Same. I watched it by myself as well.
Yeah.
losers. Uh Dude, I swear, like, I think as the movie went on, I kind of got further and further away from her. A little, like, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, we can't start merging. Like, it was very. This is a weird movie to have someone touching you during. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um, but so they're making all these stupid jokes, and I remember my girl saying like they're ruining the scene with these dumb quips and jokes. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then when she starts hacking them apart and it cuts away, I was like, "Oh, okay. This is what we're doing." Like,
Yeah,
it just felt
we
like
weren't watching Martyrs.
yeah, I just felt like, "Look, you're setting up this body horror thing, and then
They're
you're
not
just
committing.
cutting away from it
Yeah,
for
the
comedy's
movie
sake."
itself is not committing to what's
No,
happening.
dude, no. It for as kind of weird and whatever a substance was, at
It
least it
committed.
was gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it committed to the body horror. I didn't think the body horror was too interesting. I thought it was really derivative,
Mhm.
but of like Cronenberg, but at least it committed. But this movie, it's like they just modern horror is like that, not only in movies but in books. Like people like I read something about, like Empire of the Vampire, which is a fantasy horror thing. Like someone was saying the gore in that is ridiculous and sometimes gross. And I'm like, really? I don't I mean, Jack, you read that book. I don't
I don't remember
whatever.
anything like that. Really, I can't remember much that made me be like, "Wow, that's insane."
No. And it's like,
Like at
what?
all.
Yeah, and it's like we've done this like reverse desensitization almost in horror where horror gets more and more tame. Like I remember Edward when we watched the Hellraiser reboot a
Mhm.
couple years back for Film
Mhm.
Tangents, and you said like, "What the hell was that? This was
Yeah.
like borderline PG-13."
Yes. Yeah. So what's this
Um,
movie?
yeah, and it's just like, what is it? These are R-rated movies. Why is everything for general audiences
Yeah,
nowadays?
it really is. It's just money. I think it's just a money thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the harm in having, non-horror fans leave the theater and be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up." Like, why is that even what's wrong with that? Like,
I
what's that
no, it is pretty. I think it's a big thing that makes horror movies like increasingly more mid, and why it's like you don't keep a lot of these movies coming out as like things you come back to, or like, oh, some of the top horror movies I've seen, because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, those are the things that stick for me, is like
Yeah.
those gruesome scenes. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's like if you don't have those, and it's like, oh, this big thing we're building up comes out to be like something that's not even that scary. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's body horror, you gotta bring the body horror. I mean, Cronenberg's The Fly. Jack, have you ever seen The Fly with Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, you gotta
Uh,
watch that,
uh,
dude.
1986, probably the best body horror movie of all time because it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
it's it's a great drama. I mean, it's it's
Well,
incredible.
that
I
movie
mean, it's like
commits. Yeah,
that movie's Shakespearean with its story,
yeah.
but it's
It
disgusting.
is
I mean, that movie's
disgusting. It's
fucking
super gross.
disgusting,
Yeah,
dude. Fucking repulsive.
yeah,
But it's delivers, and when they cut away during this movie, I was just like, oh, it was the first bad omen where I was like,
yeah. But that's the thing, though, because I got the impression, I think, from the very beginning of this movie that the movie was not going to be that kind of movie. Like I really did. I got the impression of like, because and this is when I knew when the dogs first like merged, like when the dogs first like Cronenberg dogged, um,
mm,
and then in the movie just like showed them for like a split second. When
yeah,
that happened, I was like, I think this is that kind of movie where if
really,
there's anything a little bit like they're gonna just kind of flash it, because and this is why I say, and this is why I think they did it because I think they wanted people to watch these movies with their girlfriends. And they know that
yeah,
dudes are freaks, so the dudes are, most dudes are gonna be like, oh, show me the gore, show me the blood, but the
yeah,
girlfriends are probably gonna be like, so if they just kind of flash this stuff, they're probably gonna be like, okay, maybe this way we do something. Obviously it ends up making the movie mid because you don't commit one way or the other. Um, so I don't know. It's interesting because I think about a movie like Raw by that director who always commits, as far as I can tell. The director who made that movie, Titan. We watched that for the podcast.
yeah,
That
yeah.
French director, like that lady, always commits, and that's the thing with that movie Raw. It's like you would hear people like throwing up coming out of that movie. Remember when we watched that movie? I don't think you were there, but when like
It was,
Johnny,
yeah, and the guy left to throw up.
yeah, there was like a guy or two that left to throw up. So it's like, and I love that movie,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I'm not a gore guy at all whatsoever. But that's like one of my high rated movies. So it's interesting because I feel like sometimes movies can market themselves as like this is going to be really gross, like body horror kind of stuff, and that can be successful. But I think this movie was kind of trying to market itself a little bit more like a couples horror movie thing, and at the same time as like a voyeuristic couples thing, in the sense of like, Alison Brie and Dave Franco are married, and you get to see these people who are in an actual real relationship be in a movie, about, dysfunctional relationship and commitment issues. And I think there's an element of it that's also that. I think, like, I don't fault the movie for not doubling down on the gore, but I think it ended up being a disservice for the movie that it didn't double down on the gore.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge gore guy. Like I think it's just if it's promised, which I don't know. I don't think I ever saw a trailer for this, but I do feel like just by being a body horror film that it is promised to an extent. And so like it's almost like if a new Evil Dead came out and there wasn't much gore in it and it cut away from gore,
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
like, what the
it's
heck?
Evil Dead, dude. What the
Yeah.
fuck? So it and Hellraiser, same with Hellraiser. Where in this movie, not quite as much of a promise because it's not a known quantity. I'm a known quantity, um, as those two aforementioned movies, but yeah, like yeah, I still, I mean, the poster is their two bottom lips combining.
Yeah.
It's going to be disgusting. You think it's going to be gross when you look at it. Or the
Yeah.
alternate posters, their hands combining. So you're like, okay, it's body horror,
Yeah.
100%. This ain't no haunted house movie.
Yeah.
Um, but that wasn't even the biggest thing for me. I think the real moment, like story wise, when this movie kind of fell apart, and I knew it was coming. When the moment she walks into that teacher's house and you see that framed photo
hmm
on the table, I was like, oh, this guy is a merge. Those two,
Yeah.
because those two guys in the photo
They don't look like that
are like
guy. They both kind of just resemble him. Yeah.
exactly. So I'm like, he's a merged version of the two people in that photo. I knew
Yeah.
it from the second it cut to that photo. It completely showed its hand there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, great. This is some stupid cult thing."
hmm
I am tired of cults
Yeah.
in
It was a
horror
cult.
movies.
It ended up being a cult thing.
Hereditary Yeah, Hereditary started that, and now cults are used as a crutch in horror to explain everything.
Oh, dude, in this movie
Like we
explained everything in the most cartoonish way.
I
Like,
know.
in the most cartoonish way. So he just
I
goes to
know.
this dude's house looking for his keys, and like there's already a video playing. Like
And when that was playing, I was like, "Why is this playing right
there's
now?"
already like a perfectly
No.
timed, like old cassette playing, explaining away how this thing came to be. I'm like, really? Really? This is how we're doing this? This is how we're doing this? This is how we're doing this? This is how we're doing
Yeah.
this? Was this in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
draft
yeah.
or something? And nobody like in the rewrites, nobody went like, hey, the part where we explain things away in a fucking video cassette by happenstance when she walks in, maybe we shouldn't have that in the movie. Maybe we should explain this away some other way, or maybe we shouldn't explain it away at all. But there we had the scene.
I know.
Yeah,
And you realize too that like you look back on all these horror movies and you're like, if Hellraiser, Evil Dead, and Nightmare on Elm Street all came out today, they would all have cults in them. Freddy Krueger, cult
cult
leader.
leader,
The puzzle box and
the
Hellraiser,
cult.
a cult created it.
Yeah,
You know, freaking what's
yeah,
the other one I mentioned? Evil Dead, the cabin. It used to be a cult chapel. It's all why it's all cults,
it is
dude.
all
And it's like
cults.
enough with the fucking cults. And you if you
Yeah,
notice too, this movie doesn't need it. You could take the cult out
yeah,
and just have a pit with water. Maybe it's tied to some past cult.
yeah.
And you could even have the teacher be a merge of
Yeah,
two
but you don't
people.
have to explain any of
And
that away. You don't have to show a fucking video being like, "This is how it works. This is how it happens." But
I
that's how you
know,
know.
and
That's how you
just
know that this movie was made literally for the in mind for general audiences. Like, it wasn't made for. It
yeah,
was just made for everybody. Like, it was like, if at some point, if at some point your brain started wandering off and you started thinking about Mickey Mouse, by the time that your brain came back into the movie, you're like, wait, so what's happening? Ah, the movie's explaining it. The movie's telling me. I didn't miss anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the problem with that's the double-edged sword of horror going so mainstream as it has over the past 10, 15 years. Because I feel like I don't know what movie made horror go so mainstream. I feel like in City Conjuring was probably like
Oh,
what
Conjuring.
really pushed
Yeah,
horror
like really, like
into the mainstream.
it really, really did. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The Saw movies kind of started that and then like I mean, cause dude, I went like my workplace was talking about The Substance last year.
Hmm.
I'm in a work
Crazy.
meeting
That's so
and we're
weird.
talking about body horror.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
I mean? So
weird
it's
thing.
like this is mainstream,
Yeah,
you know? And look at the actors, Demi Moore,
yeah, yeah,
Dave Franco,
yeah,
right? Like huge names,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it's like you at one hand you love it because you're like, well, I love that everybody's getting into something that I'm into. It's like how Godzilla went mainstream in the past half decade. But on the other hand, you're like,
All
well,
those
yeah, but
fucking movies suck.
yeah, I
They
know.
all
You're like,
suck
they're just
ass. They're
yeah, you're like,
terrible.
oh, they're just yeah, they're
Yeah,
just putting it out for general audiences.
yeah.
But yeah, so the cult stuff was goofy, and
It was
then
goofy.
it just the one body horror scene that did deliver was him down in the pit with that combined creature.
Yeah, which
That
was
was
the
pretty
other couple,
gnarly.
by the way. I don't know if you picked up on that.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't pick up on that at
Yeah,
all.
it was like missing couple, the one that went missing
I
at the beginning of
figured.
the movie.
They
Yeah, that's
resisted it.
Yeah, which I have to
yeah.
give. I
They're
do
like,
want to give the
help
movie
me.
props for that. Like, regardless of how like asinine it came across sometimes, like it did tie up all the loose ends. Even the whole thing about her parents visiting on Sunday, like the movie ended with that. So it's like I had to give the movie props. Like every callback, everything was very like they brought everything back together. So there's that. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Thinking about that even more, that makes the cult thing even makes less sense because it's not like it would have been different if the cult thing was like she, had this relationship with that teacher and he was like, "Oh, don't you wish there was a way you could be closer or something?" Or I know something that could help fix your relation. Like, and that would suck too. But like the fact that like he like I don't know, it didn't make the connection between like him knowing they were going to combine and like how did he even know? Because he knew they went to the cave, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks for me on like the
There's a lot of
cult's
question marks,
involvement
and
and like
also I
why they would give a shit.
yeah, and also I do have to
I thought
say,
there were enough breadcrumbs for him to know that they were gonna combine, right? Because you first got, like, the skin in the cave combining,
yeah,
Yeah, then
and then you had his dick in her
yeah,
yeah.
inside of her combined. That was a good scene, dude. I
yeah.
mean, that was I gotta say the
That was a
bathroom
good
scene is
scene. Yeah.
probably one of the best.
During that
That
scene, I
that
Oh
thought
was
to
like,
shit
my during
for
that
holy
scene, I thought to
shit.
myself
for
like,
the
"This is how you
other
lose your
dude though,
teaching's
for the
license
teacher.
forever." I was like, "This is how you
Oh,
never get."
100%, 100%.
I know. But, like, she was so desperate for him to touch her
Yeah,
at
it
that
truly
point because
was.
this is such a dead bedroom.
Yeah,
That was another interesting theme in this movie was dead bedrooms, for
yeah,
her, side of things,
yeah,
because that's a big problem, dude, like,
yeah.
that's an interesting there's a whole subreddit for r/dead bedrooms where
Oof,
people are just in there,
tough
"My
times.
partner will not sleep with me,"
Yeah.
like and that shit is a huge thing,
Well, complaining
man,
about it on
like
Reddit is not gonna make it happen, that's for sure. I do have to
Yeah,
say also
yeah,
that
I would love to get advice from folks on
right, a bunch of
Reddit
other losers
to
on Reddit that are going through the same problem you are, bro. That's not gonna fix anything. Um, but there's a big hereditary element to this movie too, with like his dead parents and
Yeah,
the whole thing with him with like mental illness aspect of the movie where they start medicating him. Like that was like a big hereditary thing, and I actually found the thing with his parents like kind of unsettling. Obviously, the movie just kind of leaves that be, doesn't come back to that. But that what how he presented that story of when he like basically went into his house and his mom was just like in bed with his dead dad, and her eyes were like all like weird and like rotten, like that, dude. That was probably the creepiest part of this movie. And I had
yeah.
nightmares about it. Ooh man, yeah,
Yeah, that was this movie's, Pet Cemetery younger sister flashback scene, you
yeah.
know? That's like a very Stephen King thing where you have some disturbing backstory just for the hell of it,
Yeah, just for the
you know?
fuck of it. It's like, why does this have to happen to this guy? This is
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
did speak to the theme, right? Because it was like it was, I don't know what I don't know what there's all these sides, homicide, matricide, I don't know what that is called when a wife kills a husband, but, um yeah, like, that obviously goes into the theme, right, of being with someone for so long and ending badly. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I do appreciate the themes that this movie was putting forward, I really do, 'cause, I've said it before, I said it even before, like, because I do think that, if I can get a little, worldly here for a second, a little, real lifey, a little deep, dare I say. I do think that there's a bit of damage done to our society in terms of Christianity, Christian faith, and just Christian thinking, which is this whole idea of marriage and husband and wife combined. They literally say it become one flesh, and I always was like, what the hell is that? Like, what's that about? You know what I mean? Like, that's creepy, dude. Like, so much of religion, in my opinion. I'm like, "What are you talking about? You can't combine with somebody." Like, I remember I used to say that. I would say that sometimes. I'd be like, "You can't merge with somebody. You're an individual."
You can't combine.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an individual,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. I think people. I think Christianity, and like just Western Christian thinking has sort of psyoped, if I may use that term again, society a little bit. I think they've done a psyop on us a little bit where we have this sense of like, you know, oh, you're just supposed to merge with somebody, never to split again. Like they're all against divorce and the common thing, like there's like a lot of times you'll hear in Christian circles, like people will go to these different groups at their church and stuff with their marital problems, right? And like a person might say in these groups, like, "Hey, I've heard these stories. People are saying it's true, folks. This is true." Um, I've heard people tell these stories of I went to my Christian, you know, group therapy session at my church, and I told them that my partner slept with not one, not two, but 5 of my friends
Damn, it's a whole
and lied
bag.
about it, and yeah.
Oof,
And the church, the group's response is fight for it. Fight
ugh,
for it, you know?
far from
Run
what,
in,
dude?
you got to run into the fire. Your house is on fire. You got to run into the smoke. Go get her. Go get her.
Ugh,
You know, and it's just like,
I don't know
or
about
go
that
get
one.
him.
I don't know about
You
that one,
know, this is
Chief.
not, I know,
Uh,
but this is the kind of, you will hear this advice in some Christian circles. And it's because they have this, there's this weird idea that's been implanted in our minds that the relationship is more important than the two individuals.
mhm,
So like even if the two individuals are miserable and should have nothing to do with each other, they're fighting for the relationship,
mhm,
which that is kind of religious thinking when you think about it, because the relationship is made God. It's made a God. It's this thing that you're supposed to fight for. But a relationship, all that is is the relation between two individuals. And if both individuals are miserable and shouldn't be together, then there's no use in fighting for a relationship. What even is that at that point? There is no relationship. And so I think you could read that into this, maybe not this movie, but I think it's an interesting thing to think about. An
yeah, for sure.
interesting psyop. We've been tackling a lot of psyops this season, I will say.
Yeah, we really have. We really have. This has been the season of the psyops. But I feel like that's the time, kind
Yeah.
of time that we're living through anyway.
Yeah. Well, a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, Edward, we were talking about Before Midnight, and I want to amend something I said a couple of years ago, because when we were talking about Before Midnight, I was saying like, you know, I think what this movie's trying to say is that love is hard work. You know, if you want to be with someone for a long time, love is hard work. And I don't believe that anymore, man. After this, my current, because at the time I hadn't been with my, I didn't hadn't met my current girlfriend yet. And I don't believe that anymore, man. Like I really don't. I think I don't think it has to be. You know, um, and I think it's hard work when people bring baggage and potentially aren't with the right person. But
For sure.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, for sure. I don't like. I can't speak on that movie because I feel like it's been too long since I watched that specific movie to like talk about what that movie's saying anymore. Like I haven't seen those movies in a while. It probably is time for me to rewatch those movies.
yeah,
But no, you were right. You were right in what you're saying anyway. But again, I don't remember. I can't talk about what that movie means anymore.
yeah, for
I'm too
sure.
detached
And
from.
yeah, and just to set the record straight, I do think the relationship in Before Midnight is hard work, but only because of the baggage that they both, their pasts that they both bring to that relationship. And I still think that's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I'm amending the sweeping generalized statement that I made 2 years ago. I
Okay.
don't think it's, I no longer agree with it. But yeah, and I think you could, but I think you can kind of read that into this movie together. Um, this whole idea that the idea of merging is somewhat analogous to that whole idea that, hey, we're fighting for the relationship, you know, instead of fighting for the happiness of two individuals. And I think that's something that people, that's a box that we put ourselves in. And I think that's something that people need to move away from, is like fighting for something that's not really worth fighting for, you know, knowing when to cut bait, knowing when, you know, you're codependent on someone, you and someone else are codependent for, like, honestly chemical reasons, just because of brain chemistry. You know, you're not even enjoying, like, because dude, like, I look back, you know, that previous relationship I mentioned, I didn't enjoy a second of her company toward the end, dude. But
I mean, yeah, I've had similar things in my past relationship too, where it was like we
yeah,
would go like do things or like go to a family event. Like I remember towards the end, like going to like my family's house and like we were at like just hanging out with them and we were like physically couldn't have been like further apart. in like physical
Yeah.
distance. Like we're on opposite sides of the room doing our own things, like not talking to each other, not spending like not getting anything out of being there together. And it was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think also one thing that's important, I've been harping a lot on bad relationships, but I think actually you can learn a lot from this movie, even if you're in a good relationship, because, and just the concepts in this movie, again, because I don't think this is a great movie or anything. Um, but even if you're in a good relationship, again, like you're still an individual. You are an individual, and there's nothing wrong with needing space, and I used to feel like in past relationships so guilty about needing space or just being like, I can't fucking like I can't be staring at you right now. Like I just need to go and not be near you, like it's nothing against you, but I can only be around one person for so long, and that doesn't mean that I don't like you or that there's anything particularly annoying about you at all, but
It's
it's
I
just
hate
like
you. You
no,
you annoy the
it
crap out
just
of me.
yeah, it's just like I once heard some, again, man, just the advice you hear sometimes is so weird. Like I once heard someone say, you'll know you're ready to marry someone if you could honestly say that you could spend a week with them in a box and not go crazy. And it's like, dude, who
What
the hell
thought
could do
experiment is
that?
that?
I know. It's just like, what
What
is
the hell?
this? It's like, who could do that? Everyone's going to fail that. No one should get married if that's the criteria,
Yeah, right.
because no one can sit and stare at anybody for a week, dude. There's no way,
Yeah.
you know. But don't feel guilty, like, dude. Don't feel guilty about not wanting to, like, like I told my girlfriend a while back, when we first started talking about living together, and this sounds obvious when I repeat it, but at the time she was living in a one-bedroom apartment, and I was like, yeah, well, we need to find like a 2-3 bedroom place though, because I can't sit here and stare at each other all day. Like that's just not good,
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I totally agree. And there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
you know. And if there's someone who thinks there is something wrong with that, beware, because I
Beware.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, because I've had girlfriends like, that I think if they could have had like unlimited access to my thoughts, they would have like immediately and without question then said, yes, yes, I want access to his thoughts, every thought that passes through his brain, you know, and I that's scary, dude. And there's nothing wrong with being frightened of something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That you're an individual and there are certain things that will always be yours. Your life is yours. It's not his life, it's not her life, whoever you're with. Your life is yours, you know. But enjoy your time together too.
Yeah. I am the beast I worship. Go listen to Beware by Death Grips, everybody. If that's the one thing you get
Yeah.
out of this episode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, boys, anything else on Together before I go grab another beer?
Shit, let me see. Again, Dave Franco had an annoying voice. I thought that like when they were in that cave and he drank that weird like water, I was like, dude, why would you do that? Like I was like, why would you do that? You can go without water. What has to be in a week? And you're like just dying. You're just dying of thirst. You're like parched. Like whatever little water there is in the thing you gave her, just drink a little. Just sip a little bit of that. If you're like I know that you have this like raspy ass like throat this whole like movie, but you can wait. Like I had that thought that it's like the catalyst of this film, like Dave Franco being like, "Oh, let me drink from this fucking water in a cave. Like this is not gonna give me some like bacteria that I'm not gonna die from this." The fact that he did that and that being the entire thing this movie is like on the back of, I found that to be the most stupid fucking thing. I couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy it. So
I know. Well, you
You
could have just had them fall in it by accident
Exactly.
when
That's
they
what I
fell
thought it was
through
gonna
or
happen. I
something.
thought that they were just gonna fall in it by accident and just like swallow a little bit of the water, maybe freak out and be like, "Oh, I swallowed some of that water. You think I'm gonna be okay? Yeah, you're gonna be fine." Like I thought that that's what was gonna happen, but the fact that they fell and then they made a fire next to the fucking water, and then Franco was like, "I am so thirsty that." I'm not gonna go and maybe drink some of the water that's falling from the rain, or just wait. Just wait a little bit. I'm not going to do any of these options. I am going to drink from the mysterious water over there. The fact that the movie hinged on that stupid, stupid decision. Immediately, I was like, "Oh God, why? Why are we doing this?" Because I had the whole time, I was thinking to myself, like, we didn't have to make it so complicated. Like when you make it so that the thing that needs to happen to your characters for them to start merging into one person is such a complex thing. They have to fall into some cave. They have to then like not be able to get out of the cave. And they have to then drink some mysterious water. When you add so many weird steps and complications to your movie happening, I have to I wonder, why was
I
this,
gotta step in.
like why was this the case? Why is this such a stupid fucking like way of this to happen? This was a stupid ass movie, man. This was a stupid ass movie.
When he said we used to watch Man versus Wild, I was like, "You sure?"
Yeah,
Because Bear
you
Grylls
sure about
warns
that?
against this type of stupidity.
Yeah,
Like he boils the water before he drinks it.
so again, there's an entertaining movie, you know, middling movie doesn't commit to anything, and then it's just so stupid. The character
The
actions are
ending's
just
pretty dumb too.
yeah,
The
Yeah, the ending
ending
was
where
so
they
stupid.
open, yeah, we didn't even talk about that, but they just
yeah,
come up, they open the door, and he's just like, "Hey."
yeah. It's like any explanations.
That's it.
That's it.
Just straight up, just hey. And then
Like
that's cut.
so again, it's just I thought that it was just kind of a stupid ass movie. Like it wasn't a terrible movie. It was entertaining. I actually did get bored like around like the hour mark. But
Yeah.
then they kind of then is when they started like that's when they started then like forcibly like being like magnets towards each other, and then it kind of was like, okay, this is interesting again. But yeah, 5 out of
Treaded a
10.
lot of water. The movie treaded water.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 10 too. What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 10. I watched it in not the best horror setting. Like I kind of watched it like this evening before the podcast,
yeah,
and like I was like, just had gotten home. Like I started it as I was driving home. Don't recommend that to viewers to watch movies and drive. But I was watching it on the way home. Yeah, no, which is
damn, the
I'm great
dogs
at.
are one dog. Whoa.
Yeah, pretty much. Not the best environment, but like dude, when I got home, I was like, "Fuck it." I'm already like 20 minutes in, and I was like doing other stuff when I got home, and I was watching it on my phone. And like a couple times, like I caught myself like holding the phone and like double tapping, and then it would go like 10 seconds past because I was bored, and then
Yeah.
I would double tap back to go backwards because I was like, "All right, I can't skip it." But like I'd find myself trying to like skip these like tiny increments of time to just like,
Yeah,
come on, like we gotta go and do something.
yeah,
But yeah, I just think this movie just was not scary, and
no.
like you said, has some plot holes, so it's probably a 4.
Yeah, it is like a low
Yeah.
5. It's like a very light, like 5. It's a 5 that's been only drinking water the whole day.
I'd give it a strong 5 because only drinking water all day. No saltines or anything.
No, no, nothing. No more
Uh
crackers, nothing.
I'd give it a strong 5 because I thought the sense of dread that it builds in that during that first half was pretty good. Thought that was good. Like up until that they leave the cave, I thought it was a good sense of dread. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's take a beer break. Okay.
I
Sounds
had
good.
Quaker rice cake on my face.
Well, I've been getting those too, dude. I like putting peanut butter on them.
So you're Quaker
I've
boys,
never
huh?
had the chocolate ones. The chocolate ones are so good.
I'll try them out,
Nice.
dude.
You have them?
No, I said I'll try them out. I think I've only had like the plain
Oh, I
ones
was
before.
like, where did you acquire this from?
No, I think I've had
I was
the plain ones. That's why I recognized that it was the Quaker stuff that you're eating.
yeah. Yeah, I discovered it actually from there's a great we can include this in the pod right here by the way, but there's a great YouTube channel. It's Maven Huffman, I think is his last name, but he was in WWE. He was like a mid-carder in WWE during like the 2000s. And he has like all these great videos on the business, and I mean, he even has a video where he's like, "This is exactly how I did steroids when I was in WWE." And it like
That's awesome.
goes through like the entire
That's
process, and like
awesome,
he
dude.
dishes all the he gives all the deets
That's
on the
awesome.
business.
That's awesome.
And he said he says he used to ride with Randy Orton, like him and Randy would drive from town to town together. And he said that the best snack that he would have like after a match was rice cake with peanut butter on it.
Really?
I was like, dude, that sounds good. So
That
now,
sounds
dude, I've
pretty
been eating
good.
that as a snack ever since I saw that
That
video.
sounds
I was
pretty
like,
good.
like a couple times a week or something.
Which ones? Like which
Might have to
flavor
try
ones?
the peanut butter.
I just get the lightly salted and then put peanut butter on
Oh,
it.
that does
and
sound pretty
call it a
good.
day.
Sounds pretty good. It sounds like a nice combination.
Yeah, dude. Jack, what do you get? Didn't you get some flavor in there?
I just got chocolate.
Oh
The
hell
chocolate
yeah.
rice cakes, and surprisingly, they're really good.
Hell yeah. They're low
No
calorie
toppings.
too.
Yeah, they're all around just an amazing snack.
Yeah. Well, boys, we got a new Mummy movie coming out. The trailer came out yesterday, I think.
It's called Mommy
What do you
Up
say
Your
we
Ass.
Yeah. Sure, that's the name of the movie. Jack, why don't you pull that up for us? We'll watch the trailer and see what we think. It's Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So my dad and I actually went to see his movie a couple years ago, Evil Dead Rise, and that was a good Evil Dead movie.
Really? Is it really a good Evil Dead movie?
Yeah, I would say it's like the weakest out of all of them, but they're all great.
Yeah.
And I thought Evil Dead Rise was good.
Okay.
It just the only thing about Evil Dead Rise that I didn't like was it had a really redundant arc. It just basically copied the Jurassic Park character arc, where it was like the character at the beginning is afraid of parenthood, and then over the course of the movie they protect kids, and then at the end they're like, I'm ready for parenthood.
Show some of those.
It's like, I know, and it's just like, what does the writer actually have any, you have any thoughts of your own on this matter?
Do you have any original thoughts?
Yeah, like
yeah.
But anyway, let us watch the trailer for Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Roll them.
Can I get 2 slices of pizza?
Everyone hear it?
Yeah.
No, you never ever finish 2.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Cannon. I'm Deputy Chief of the U.S. Embassy. Your daughter Katie has been found. She's alive.
Blumhouse.
It's very important you
Comic
fully
monster.
prepare yourself for what you're about to see.
James Wan's company.
No sudden
From the
moves,
studio that brought you Weapons.
Is it really?
no loud noises.
Yeah, that's what it says. I think they just mean Warner Brothers, though.
Yeah, it's like it probably is, because I think there might be a subsidiary or something. Oof.
We're here.
She's been missing for 8 years.
8 years.
What was our daughter doing in a 3,000-year-old sarcophagus?
She just needs our care and lots of
Yeah,
love.
yeah. So they find their daughter again, and she was in a sarcophagus. That's where they found her.
Huh.
What the hell?
57.
Dude, I bet there's a
Only
cult to
we're
this
still
movie.
alive.
Yeah.
What happened to Katie?
There's absolutely a
There's
cult.
absolutely a
Yeah,
cult.
look, the videotape.
Yeah. Oof.
Ugh.
Oof. It's a pretty good trailer, I have to say. It's intriguing. Maybe it gives a little too much away.
Don't worry, Grandma. It's fun to be dead.
That part's stupid, I think.
Yeah, it is stupid. It's clearly like a trailer moment, even if it makes the movie.
Yeah.
I just want my daughter back.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy. You know, I didn't know that Lee Cronin was such a guy that he could have his name like on a. I didn't know that he was like. I didn't know that Lee Cronin had like ascended to like Chad status as a filmmaker. That he could have
Or
like
you
his
just put his name
name.
in front of the film.
Yeah, his name. Usually that kind of thing is reserved, like Superman, for instance. Like I haven't seen the new Superman, but I know that it's like James Gunn's Superman, you know. And Guillermo del Toro is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. But by this
Yeah.
point, Guillermo and James Gunn are like household names. You know, they've made insanely like good movies, or like movies that generated a lot of value, or they're just famous because they make a bunch of movies. Lee Cronin, dude, I don't know who the fuck Lee Cronin is. Like the only thing I know he made is that he made the previous like
I don't know.
he made the previous
Evil Dead. Yeah.
Evil Dead. It's like that justified the guy being like, put my fucking name on top of the movie name. It's like, dude, don't be so desperate. Like, we'll get to know who you are. You don't have to put your name next to the fucking title. That being said, the movie looks like it could be good or bad or just mid. Like looks like it could be anything.
It could, yeah, it really could go either way. I have a theory, Edward, on what you're saying. I think it was more to differentiate it
From
so
the
people
actual
don't think
Mummy
it's a
movie?
universal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so they don't think it's like, because I mean, there's numerous movies named The Mummy at
Mummy.
this point, and
Yeah.
he probably didn't want people to think it's a universal remake or something. Because even still having it Lee Cronin's The Mummy, I feel like there's still some expectations there
Yeah.
of it being like universal stuff.
And even
which,
then,
I mean, this trailer dispels that. It's not going to be
well,
like
but
that.
even
Yeah,
then
it
in that
doesn't look
trailer there are
like that at
visual callbacks to the Mummy movie, right? With like there was like a scarab thing that went into someone's mouth. Like there were like instances
that's
in there
true.
that were just kind of visual references in a way. But I do have to imagine that there was like a board meeting in which they were like, hey, so there's a bunch of other movies called The Mummy. Obviously, the most famous one being one with Brendan Fraser, The Brave. So it's like so it's like for us to differentiate this movie from that one, then let's spitball some names. And somebody was like, "Oh, you know, we can call it The Mummy, The Daughter Rises," you know, and they like threw names around. And Lee Cronin was like, "Why not? Let's just do Lee Cronin's The Mummy. It's the best. It's the best." And someone was like, "Well, but you know," then he was like, "No. It's gonna be Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Like this is the best."
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, Lee, you're just a chump. Like, do we really want this?
Interesting
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah, I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Okay, I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, why the hell? Them visiting the daughter in the hospital is obvious, but why the hell would they bring her home? It's like, who's, what do you have? What is she in hospice?
Yeah.
She's deformed,
It's
decayed.
so
She's a mummy.
It's like
and you're
it's
bringing
like
her
the
into your
police
house
found her.
around your other kid.
The police found their daughter and they were like, "Yeah, so this is your daughter. I know that it looks like we just took her out of like some sarcophagus and she was under for 8 years and she looks like she's rotten, but yeah, you can take her home. You can take her."
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, I don't know
discharged.
about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
I don't
whole
know
like
either.
the whole leaning into that dumb, if there's one horror trope that I just can't stand at this point, it's the creepy kid horror trope. Can we just be done with that?
Yeah, that
Like,
one's tough,
it's
man.
not
'Cause
scary.
that one's tough, man, because those kids are usually terrible. Like, and that's really what the issue is with me and like kids in movies. Kids in movies are 9 times out of 10 terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah.
You know, either the kid is just terrible because kids don't know how to act, or the movie, or something. They just mishandle what the kid's doing. It just doesn't work. Funnily enough, to reference back the movie we just talked about together, the one scene where there's a kid in the movie with a little girl, I wrote down like that was terrible. I was like that kid's acting was terrible. Like the little girl,
Oh,
she
you're
was
talking
like
about in Together?
yeah, when she was like, "This is my dog, I don't have it anymore," and she just like runs away. I was like, "Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. That was so terrible. That was such
Yeah.
a terrible scene." And again, dude, it's just like you can't have kids in movies doing things, especially kids in movies doing like creepy things. Ugh.
I know. It's just so dumb. Don't worry, Grandma. It's fun to be dead. Shut
It's like it
up.
happened once. It was done well once. It was like The Exorcist. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen again.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Stop trying to make it happen again. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, they keep trying to make it
I know.
happen.
Stop. I know, dude. That really is the only one. Creepy kids in horror movies. I mean, was there even a better? Oh, I guess The Omen. I haven't seen The
I
Omen,
haven't
but
seen The Omen either.
creepy
That might be a good one.
kids in horror movies. Yeah. I mean, Poltergeist, but she wasn't creepy. Like she
The
said
kid,
a couple creepy
yeah,
things,
but
but they
she
were
wasn't the
reserved
source
with
of
her.
creepiness. No.
Exactly.
And to this day, that's an issue that I have with
Exactly.
Sinister. That whenever there's like those kids running around the house, I'm always like, oh man, this is goofy
Yeah.
as heck. Even the first time I watched
I
Sinister, I was
know.
like, oh, this is goofy. And when I watched Sinister, I was a kid, and I thought it was goofy. Then,
That's the moment Sinister falls apart, is that
yeah,
scene. You're just like, because he's trying to do, I think we talked about this before, but I really feel like he was, Scott Derrickson was trying to do like a Pulse thing there, that Japanese movie Pulse
hmm
with that ghost lady who's moving all weird and like she's
yeah,
underwater.
yeah.
And it just was like, nah,
Have you
dude,
seen that
it's not
movie?
the same. I have not, but I've seen that scene.
Yeah, that's the best
I've
scene in
had,
the movie. That's like a mid movie with like a good scene.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've had nightmares about that scene,
yeah, it's a
dude,
good
from a
scene.
movie I haven't even watched.
Yeah,
But
Wow.
like I had a, yeah,
because
like I woke up feeling like I was having a heart attack
because
after I
I
had
can
a
give you some
nightmare about that scene.
context. Because that movie is made by the same director that made that movie Cure. Remember the movie Cure that we watched for the show?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't like that.
yeah, same director. It's the same director, and that's like, and it's funny because I watched Pulse before Cure, and I didn't know who the director was. I think the name is Kiyoshi Kurosawa. And I remember I watched Pulse because I thought it was like supposed to be like a great movie. It's a boring ass movie. Um, it's like all the bad things that Cure had, and then it has like a good scene. It has like it has one good scene. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, what'd you think of that Mummy trailer?
Thought it was kind of dog shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't really find much to be desired about
Yeah.
that movie. It was like, ah, it's just like same shit, different
yeah,
fucking. She came out of a sarcophagus instead of got like possessed.
yeah,
Cool, like like it's not really doesn't look like much of the twist or like a story of how like maybe we'll watch some janky tape that'll be like her freaking spazzing out in the sarcophagus. Like I don't know like it didn't really leave much to be desired for me.
I think my only source of interest in this is that it's called The Mummy and that there's an Egyptian flavor. Because Egyptian horror, you don't see it too much.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
even like, I mean, not even you really don't see it at all. I mean, the last Egyptian horror movie I can think of
Probably
was The Pyramid from 2014. That was
it might be
horrible.
I don't know. I don't know what you would call that Tom Cruise one. I guess that was like an action movie, like that remake of The Mummy with Tom
Yeah,
Cruise. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
that's like horror adjacent. It's
Yeah.
like an adventure
Yeah.
thing. Obviously, horror. Technically, it's a action horror film. You know,
Yeah.
like same with Brendan Fraser's movie. I would, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like Brendan Fraser's Mummy is an honorary horror film.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like not honorary, but just it's in the genre. It's like it's one of those movies where you're like, hey, like you're in the family. You're horror.
It's like a second or
We'll
third
claim
cousin.
you.
It's like by association.
Yeah, like as
It's there.
exactly. Like as
Yeah.
a horror fan, I'm like, all right, I claim you. Like I'll mention you when it suits me,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, we'll see. Evil Dead Rise was pretty good, but we'll see. I'll definitely go see it in theaters.
Yep.
Apparently, the director, who we all know is Lee
Lee
Cronin, thanks to
Cronin.
him adding
Really?
his name to the title. Yeah,
The Lee Cronin?
Yeah.
yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
um, yeah. Apparently, he said that this movie was when he went into it, he wanted to make something that was Seven meets Poltergeist. And I was like, okay,
Interesting.
this is an interesting mashup.
Yeah, that's
You
an
know,
interesting
we'll
mashup.
see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
If I'm a betting man, I would say it's going to be about the same quality as the Wolfman,
yeah.
the new Wolfman.
Yes,
You know.
yes, I agree 100%. I think it's worth mentioning that I think they're working on a Mummy movie again, like the Brendan Fraser one, with Brendan Fraser.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's what we're all really waiting for.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds actually like
yeah,
worthwhile.
And
yeah.
please bring back Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep. Like, just you did him twice. Just bring him back. We
That
got
would
to
be
have him back. Don't try to do some new mummy. Bring Imhotep back.
Yeah, but
He was the
gonna be that.
best.
They're gonna do that trope with Brendan Fraser's just old and he can't do it anymore, and some young
Yeah,
guy.
him and Evelyn are. Yeah, him
Yeah.
and Rachel Weisz's character are divorced.
Yeah, somehow they're gonna just just stump over the whole thing.
They probably have
Yeah.
like a daughter, female protag who just
Yeah,
takes up the
yes,
reins
it's
and
right. It's gonna be that movie. It's gonna be like their daughter, visiting Brendan Fraser, trying to get her parents back together. It's an adventure. It's the Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is up with that trope? Like they even did that with that last Insidious movie where they brought back the original family, and it's like, oh, the parents are divorced and the dad's this broken down loser. It's like, what is this?
What
Like,
is that, dude?
well, you know what I blame? I think I've said this before, but I blame Logan. Everybody saw Logan and was the Wolverine movie and was like, oh, we'll just do that. And it's like, dude, like it worked once. They were trying to they got it from Unforgiven,
Yeah.
the Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do this every time.
No.
And then they're like, let's have Luke Skywalker be some old broken down hermit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah.
You guys on
could have been
crack?
so much cooler.
Yeah, but dude, like, I think I hate Rian Johnson. I think I hate him.
I think I hate it.
I think I hate him. And I say this because there was like an exchange that he had on social media with somebody where I think they asked him something along the lines of like, hey, do you regret like messing up Star Wars? And he was like, no. And I was like, dude, you should. You destroyed Star Wars. You destroyed it,
No Shame is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what seems so much better is because you know how there's two Star Wars continuities now. There's canon, which is the Disney stuff, and then there's Legends. And I feel like I watched an interesting video, where I think it was something like Falling in Love with Star Wars Again, the Legends novels. And it talked about like the best novels that were written back in like the 90s and the early 2000s that carried on Luke Skywalker's story after Return of the Jedi and all that stuff. It's like what it could have, what the Disney trilogy could have been and all that. And not even that, but just really good stories that happen to have been told in the Star Wars universe. And yeah, I found that interesting. I thought that was kind of a cool video. So go check that out if it's interesting to you listeners.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna bring that back. I feel like somehow I feel like George Lucas just like sold all his properties to Disney and they just crapped all over it. Because even with the new Indiana Jones that I haven't seen, like the Crystal Circle or whatever, like I know that was apparently just crap. It didn't make any money, and it was just another one of those like it's indie and he's an old like bag and he can't do anything, and it's just like a way of introducing like a new person to be Indiana Jones, but it's like. The actor of whatever his face is, like he's too tied up on with that character, and now he's senile. So it's like just let it go. Just let it go.
They did it to him in Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Disney was like, we're just shitting all over you, Harrison Ford.
Yeah. God. Honestly, I guess money. They probably just paid a shit ton of money, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
these
surprised
old
he would
actors.
take
They
like his
set it.
two like defining rules and just like play their broken down fucking, give me a fucking bed tray
Yeah.
fucking ass, like
50
play
years
them
later, man.
after they fell the hell off. Yeah, I don't know why. I wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
give him his third defining role, Blade Runner, though.
That was
They
good.
did a good job with that.
They did a good job, but
2049.
that was Denis. It wasn't even like that was Denis Villeneuve. It wasn't even like a
Mhm.
but these Disney fucking things, man. And it's funny because these guys have no shame. For them, it's just like a paycheck, you know. Because
Yeah.
obviously Harrison Ford read the scripts and he probably was like, this stinks. Like it's like this probably
Yeah.
like this stinks. They're just doing me all dirty, but they're paying me a big old fucking stack of cash. And we're doing it anyway. Because that's the thing with me. Like whenever I see Mark Hamill, like all the videos of Mark Hamill being snarky about how much he complained to Rian Johnson about how Rian Johnson didn't understand the character and it didn't make sense, and it's like, but Mark, you were there, dog. Like if you were really in such opposition vehemently to the fact that Luke Skywalker was being shat on, you could have just not signed up to do the fucking damn fucking movies. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
How about that?
and I love those interviews with Mark Hamill where he's just like, I told Ryan I
Who gives a fuck what you told
fundamentally
Ryan?
disagree
Yeah.
with your vision of this character. And it's like, what? You said that to him on filming day? Like he was gonna change it?
Yeah.
Like
It's like, dude,
maybe
get
he did.
outta
Maybe he
here.
said it after he read the script, but I don't know.
Like he said it. Like,
You know what?
He said it to him. Like he said it to him during dailies, dude. So they were watching the dailies the next morning. He's like, Ryan, I
He
fundamentally
probably did.
disagree. It's like, dude, get out of
That's how
here.
that's how yeah.
Get out of here.
That's how narcissistic actors are, man. Probably. They're probably like, well, we could change the movie halfway through because
Yeah.
of what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I could sympathize though with guys like Harrison Ford and guys like Mark Hamill, where it's like you can think about it if you think about it from the perspective of someone who's aging and facing their own mortality, and you're like, well, my career is aging with me, and I'm not getting as many roles anymore, and now I get to relive the glory days because Disney's knocking again. I mean, dude, who wouldn't take? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta sympathize with them.
I don't sympathize with them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't sympathize
come on,
with them.
man. You don't understand. Don't you see that though?
I don't sympathize with them.
I mean, I do see it, but like at the same time,
you just keep saying the same thing. But I'm asking you, like, you don't see that a little bit?
That's
Like,
the
if
answer
you're an
to the
old
question.
guy,
That's the answer. Don't sympathize with them, dude. Because it's like, and you know what? And I also disagree. I also disagree with your premise.
I fundamentally disagree with your vision of this character.
Because they're not.
Why? What's my premise?
They're
What do you
not
disagree?
thirsting for work. These guys have work. They're still working.
What's Mark Hamill been in?
I don't know.
Besides Star Wars. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what Mark Hamill's been in. For Harrison Ford, I feel like Harrison Ford has not been thirsting for work. Like he's on TV shows.
Yeah.
Like he has enough stuff going on.
Yeah,
I know that Mark Hamill, for the most part, is probably just doing voice work and doing the Joker until he dies or something. But it's like, man, come on, man, come on. And I have no respect for the guy because it's like you can't be agreeing to do something and then after the fact being like, I know this sucks, but I told them this sucked. Even while I was punching in my my stamp of the day, punching in and punching out, clocking in and out, doing my character. I told them every step of the way. I was like, "Hey man, this sucks, bro," but we're doing it anyway. So good for you, Mark.
Do you think
Hamill.
when Mark Hamill deposited his checks, he wrote on when he signed it, he wrote on the back. Do you think he wrote on the back of the check under duress?
Sure. It's funny because I think about Anthony Mackie, the actor that plays the Falcon in the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently Anthony Mackie, and this was like a big time meme with Anthony Mackie back when he was playing the Falcon. I think he let that go when he became the actual Captain America. And I think now that he's not Captain America anymore, they're bringing back Steve Rogers. But with they're bringing back Steve Rogers. He's in the trailers. She's in the trailer for the Doomsday thing.
No, what?
But with Anthony
Oh, really?
Mackie, yeah. But with Anthony Mackie, back when he was playing the Falcon, apparently after every scene that he would shoot, when they would say cut, he would say cut the check. So basically, for Anthony Mackie, it really ultimately was just a paycheck, him playing the Falcon. I guess it's just like that for some people. It's just funny to me that for Mark Hamill, it was not just a paycheck because he had some kind of he had some kind of indignation with how they were treating the character. That obviously he was like complaining his way to the bank, but it's like I guess it bothered him. I guess, but I guess again I have no respect for the guy. It's like if it really bothered you that much, then just don't do it. Because I feel like if he had enough leverage, that they really wanted him back, that he could have maybe forced their hand to do something.
Well, also, I mean, the guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence.
I don't remember how the second part goes. Otherwise, I would fill that in.
And Clarence lives at home with both parents.
And Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the actor from
That's Anthony
8 Mile
Mackie.
for those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Anthony
In
Mackie.
8 Mile.
So they came out with
a commentary of 8 Mile. That's like one of that we should do for sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm the only one who selected commentaries. You guys, you gotta select some commentaries, Mr. Fred Word.
Yeah, it might be a while before I do it.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. A lot of the time I'm like, I don't want to. Sometimes I feel like I want to make the guys watch something and like talk about it. Sometimes I don't feel an inclination to like do a commentary. I think the closest I got was like last season. Last season I wanted us to like watch something live on the show, and then I was like, fuck it. I didn't do it.
You're an intellectual. You want to discuss things.
Yeah, I want to discuss things, dude. But I do love when we do commentaries. That's like the oxymoron here thing.
Yeah. You see, there's another Bob Odenkirk action movie coming out called it's called Normal. Dude, Bob Odenkirk's gonna be like the new Jason Statham, basically. Who would have thought? Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad. Yeah. Oh, dude, Joel. Bob Odenkirk's taking all my work.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Gotta get the job done. Get a job.
I watched the trailer today, and it's just like it's just nobody again, but he's like a sheriff or something. It's like how much it's the same creator, it's the same director, I think.
Really?
But it's like how much mileage? I'm really tired of these like hitman movies. It's just like former hitman drawn back into his old ways. It's like, oh my god, man, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a tired trope. It really is.
I feel like Jason Statham's the only one who he gets a pass. It's like, this is just how you make your money, but everyone else, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Do you think there is just like a certain point where you've like had such a long history of film, like you get a camera and you're like, we can film some cool shit. You start doing like stories, and then you get yourself to where we are today, that you just run out of interesting shit to film, or you just think people aren't trying enough to like dedicate to the craft and create something that's worth watching?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's like there's plenty of indie, not even indie. I mean, everything is under a studio or distribution company at this point, but there's a good amount, especially with streaming originals. There's a good amount of original content. I think, I don't know how you feel, if you would agree with this statement, Edward, but I feel like in the 2010s and maybe even early 2020s, we were kind of starved of original content. But then when Netflix and Apple and all of these streaming services started doing original movies, I think that's kind of where we started we're getting a healthy amount again of original content. It's just not going to theaters.
No,
like nobody's going to. Maybe if it's horror horror and thrillers,
They'll throw it in
especially
theaters.
thrillers based on books, those will go into theaters. But when you're talking like original films, like drama films or an original sci-fi movie or something like that,
Mhm.
those mostly I think go straight to streaming services.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with when you're talking about movies like these Jason Statham type movies or Bob Odenkirk movies, I think what you got to understand, what the casual film moviegoer may not realize is that these companies don't really care if you like the movie or if it's good. They it's to make money. It's just product. Like they
Yeah.
want people to go see it. And I think they know that they're just people are just going to walk out of these movies like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
But they paid their ticket already,
Yeah.
you know. Um and that's just how it is,
It's
you
too late.
know, and
I
I think that
I was gonna say I think there's
yeah,
like
go
a
ahead.
Simpsons meme where it might be a Simpsons meme, it might be something else, where somebody like complains and they go like, "Hey, I want my money back," you know, after they like watch a movie, and they like
Yeah.
suck the movie out of their eyeballs, like they just like. I wish you could do that with movies, man. Just be like, just
Can you imagine?
take the movie back, just suck it out of my brain. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I know, man. You can get so much money back, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money, especially in the recent years with theaters.
Hmm.
Like one of the only movie that pops into my mind that I wouldn't uh let someone suck through my eyeballs, as you put it in the that happened in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Is like Weapons. Weapons was great. Like that, I loved seeing that in theaters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been to theaters in a while,
Dude, I haven't been in
man.
theaters in a while. The
Um,
last time I went to the movie.
Marty
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Scream.
The Leonardo
Marty-
DiCaprio movie we saw, the what was it? One battle after another or some shit.
Mhm.
I'd let them pull that one out of me. I'd
Me
let them
too.
pull that one out of me. Yeah, not you, Edward.
Well, dude, I mean, the last time I went to the movie theater was to fucking see 28 Years Later.
Oh, you didn't see One Battle After Another in theaters, right?
No, no.
Yeah, I'd let them suck 28 Years Later out of me.
Yeah, I would give that one back. That's like you can take it back. You can take 28 Years Later back. I do want to watch the new one, like the Bone Temple or whatever, just to see. Like,
I heard it's great.
like, dude, there is the weirdest thing. It might be. It's like it's not Danny Boyle, you know. So it's not him boiling things up in that one. It might be somebody. It's somebody else. But
Dude, you know who it is? It's the lady who directed The Marvels, which is a horrible movie,
really?
but that's what's got people so shocked. Like
huh.
even Critical Drinker was like, "Oh, it's great." I
Yeah.
mean,
The lady from
and
the
Critical Drinker's
Marvels.
somebody who, yeah. So you're like, I mean, this. If I had heard that before I heard it was good, I would have been like, "Oh my god, this is going to be even worse." But apparently, she did an amazing job.
Huh. It's interesting because every time, and I think I said this before, every time that I see or hear any conversation about the first 28 Years Later movie, it's just people praising that movie. And it makes me feel like I'm living like in a backwards world. Like I'm like cuz I'm like
28 Days Later.
yeah, 28 years later, whatever the hell that movie was that we watched in theaters. Isn't it 28 years later?
You're talking about oh, okay. You're talking about the new one.
I'm talking about the one that we saw in theaters.
Okay, yeah.
Because every time I've seen anybody talk about that movie, it's always just like praise. People being like, "Oh my god, it's like the best movie." I've seen so many like lists where it's like people's like number one movie of last year, and I'm like, am I living like in a whole different world where that movie didn't fucking suck ass? I don't know,
I know.
dude. It's like I'm going crazy. Like I see this stuff online, and it's like I'm going bananas.
I know,
I
man.
don't understand it. Like I don't understand it. Like at least I know that I watched it with you, and we both are like, yeah, that sucked, you know. Because otherwise, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why people saw that movie.
Yeah, I know. I remember us just sitting there watching it and like, dude, you could just feel the air shift when it started to get shitty. We were just like, oh man.
Yeah.
For those first 30 minutes, you're so pumped. I was just sitting there thinking, man, this is good. This is awesome.
Yes.
We'll see how Bone Temple is, man. I have I didn't have high hopes for Bone Temple until I heard all these great things about it, and from people I trust more, and I'm like, okay. And I heard some specific things about it, that make me think it'll be pretty good. Like the villain is apparently really good. It's a great human villain,
Yeah.
which I don't think 28 years later even had. Which that's a mistake. You can't not have a villain, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but oh, Marty Supreme. That was the last movie I think I saw in theaters.
Morty.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was
I
great.
need to see that movie. That's like in my to watch. I say this all the time. I'll watch the movie at some point. I'm not gonna make any. I'm not gonna make any statements that I'm not living up to because I'm not watching these movies. I think I said that I would watch Sinners. Like, oh, so watch Sinners. I haven't watched Sinners to this day. I think I did. I think the only movie I've come through that I said I was gonna watch that I watched was Weapons, and we talked about it. Um, I'll watch Marty Supreme eventually. You know that that Safety guy's like in trouble.
Is he?
Yeah, some stuff came out like about like some kind of like some stuff came out because you know that the Safdie brothers are split. Like Benny's doing his own movies, he did the Smashing Machine with The Rock, and Josh did Marty Supreme. And for a while people were like, why did this guy split? They're brothers, and obviously the Coen brothers, it feels like they split. Obviously they're working separately just because they're so old now, and all the movies they made were together. So I guess it makes sense that we're like, oh, let's take a little time to be not making movies together, make shit movies, just not together. Um, but with the Safdies, it was like, why did they stop making movies together? Because it seemed like they were like at their peak of their power when they made whatever movie it was. And apparently they've had some kind of issues. Like apparently it's both creative, they just want to do things independently. But you can look this up yourself. I'm not putting words on anyone's mouth or anything. This is online. You can look this up. It's out there. It's like some kind of thing about Jeff Safdie and like some inappropriate stuff he did on set involving like a minor actor.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So there's like it's apparently like some scene. I don't know if it was used or if it was scrapped from Good Time, involving like a minor girl, like an underage girl, and like on the scene that they filmed, apparently like the co-actor was like a male, like adult, and they like took advantage. They did something because apparently that person was like under drugs or drunk, and basically they assaulted this girl, and like that came out like recently. So Jeff Safdie's under fire, which
Holy
might,
shit.
which
I remember that scene in Good Time. Like, doesn't the mom walk in
there's
and
something in
that
that movie.
girl's kind of
Yeah,
young?
there's
Is
a
it
young
that?
girl.
Is it the girl that gives Robert Pattinson's character refuge in her house for a little
It
bit?
may be, it might not be, because the issue that happened there was not with Robert Pattinson. Like, it didn't have anything to do with him, so it might not be that exact same actress. There might have been some other kind of plot line involving some other underage girl, and something happened with that girl and a different actor, like in a scene in the movie, and the other actor was like under drugs or something and like abused her. That's seemingly what happened. And apparently, like Jeff Safdie was the director that day because his brother wasn't there, and he basically like covered the whole thing up, and it's like all coming out. So I'm pretty sure that just like yeah, yeah. So I don't know what happens next for that guy or what, but that seems pretty terrible.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Dude, is everyone in Hollywood a fucking predator?
I.
Holy shit.
It seems
We're gonna have
it kind of
we're gonna have
seems that
nobody
way.
making movies pretty soon.
Yeah, it kind of seems it seems like all these guys are creeps, man. Except for Benny Safdie. Seemingly, Benny Safdie is the good Safdie. It's the good Safdie, brother. For now.
Well, that's too bad. That's
Yeah,
too bad because Smashing Machine wasn't great.
yeah,
But
it's tough,
that may
isn't
be
it?
who we're stuck with. Smashing Machine was okay.
Yeah,
Uh, Marty Supreme was supreme. That was great.
nice.
I might have us watch Marty Supreme. Yeah, because it was. I will say this though. After I watched Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, he's a one-trick pony.
Because
Like it is just Uncut
is it
Gems
Uncut Gems
again.
again?
Yeah, it's the same. Like Good Time,
This is how
Uncut
I win,
Gems,
bro.
Marty Supreme.
Mm.
Dude, they're the same. It's just there's no it. there's no variation. They're all it's made exactly like those other movies. I
Well,
mean, it's
dude,
great, but it is like, damn, dude.
success though. Like I mean, if all that he's getting out of that is making movies that make a bunch of money and getting a bunch of praise and award season nominations, I would just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I would just keep smashing that same pike, just going at it, going at it, going at it until I strike out, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I realized the through line of his of Josh Safdie's movies seems to be addiction. That seems to be the thing he really loves exploring. Because Marty Supreme is, you know, like the main character. He's heavily addicted to the idea of succeeding at this, table tennis thing.
Ping pong.
Uncut Gems is gambling addiction. Good Time, I guess you could say that's not really too much about addiction. Then he had an earlier film that I haven't seen, but Heaven Knows What, and it's about heroin addiction, I think. So that guy seems to really like exploring that theme.
Interesting.
But yeah, Marty Supreme was. I had a great time with that, dude. Kevin O'Leary was in that movie, the guy from Shark Tank.
Yeah, I heard he was great.
He's not. Oh my dude, he was born to play that role.
I heard that he's basically playing himself. People have been saying like that he just plays himself in that movie, and it's great because of that. He's a natural.
Yeah. Yeah, he just plays himself, just this huge, rich prick.
Yeah, of course.
All right, what do you guys say we get into our recaps, and then we'll cut the audience loose here.
All right. I can start us off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no movies, as for usual. No movies, no TV shows. I'll make this extremely quick because I've only been listening to music. I'm in the P's in my alphabetical journey, and I listened to Porter Robinson, who is like an electronic, like hyperpop musician. I listened to his album Nature, or Nurture rather, and then I also listened to his album from 2024 called Smile. Nurture has this album cover if that interests you, like a guy on a field of like grass and flowers. Again, it's hyperpop, so if you're familiar with something like Charlie XCX or Pink Panther, it's like that kind of sound. But this is a male sound in that exact same genre, which I think it's almost interestingly enough to its detriment. Like what I found listening to this is that like a female voice over hyperpop production is just like butter on toast, and like a male voice over it just kind of clashes a little bit. That was my impression anyway. But good music regardless. If you're into that kind of sound, go ahead, give it a shot. Pretty good. And then I listened to Portishead. I don't know if you. I think I've mentioned them before. They have this like album called Dummy, like iconic album, with this lady just sitting there in the blue. But again, name is Portishead. They are a 90s electronic and psych and trip hop group, with a female like lead musician. Incredible voice that she has. Jake, you will know this. Their music, and the reason why I was always so excited to get to Portishead is because their music apparently inspired some of the sounds in Kid Cudi's Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, specifically this song Releaser, where he just goes like, you found me, and like he's just humming through it, like a very atmospheric song.
Yeah.
And this album is just different versions of that, very atmospheric, like trip hop production, electronic production with this female voice, just kind of a lot of the times just humming or just singing, and you have like long extended instrumental sections. I would say that from like a music head's perspective, this is like a must listen to. Dummy by Portishead. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's like essential listening. And then I listened to their other albums, their self-titled album, which was their second album, and I also listened to Third, which was their third and final album. It's just a P with a 3. And I would say that their first album and their third album are the best ones. The middle one is just kind of whatever. It's just kind of whatever. But the third one is fascinating because it takes on a little bit of like a demo quality, and it was released like 10 years after the second one, and then they ended the whole thing, but it's really great. So again, I can't recommend them enough. I think they're great. And that's it. That's my recap, everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I might check those out. I got into a little bit of electronic music during the winter time. I don't know what it is about winter, but winter makes me want to explore genres that I don't usually listen to.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of uh oh shit, why am I forgetting their name now? Not Crystal Method, the other big one from the 90s. What are they called? Hold please. I got to say it now.
Crystal Method. I know that I
Do.
what
Crystal
was
Method's great.
there was that other band that I also mentioned on this show. That's like a trip hop band. I think I've been like trip hop is just such a it's like a very exciting genre, very underexplored. I think they kind of just let that shit die after the 90s. But every trip hop
Yeah.
like thing that I've heard has been incredible. Also, I have to say, Polaris, the band that you recommended to me, the metal band Polaris, great album. I really dug it. It was really good. I wanted to put that in there
Oh,
also.
nice.
Yeah, it was really good, dude. I really liked it. I liked these screamo parts. It really did remind me of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's band that made that outro song for Hunter x Hunter. I really dug it. I didn't like the singy songy parts of it too much, and there were some songs that were kind of cringe, like just too like sentimental, like sappy. But overall, the whole album very strong. I really liked it.
Nice. Yeah, that's funny. I forgot about that. I was thinking about that over the week though. I was like, oh shit, I hope Edward likes
Oh, dude, I
Polaris. That's
liked
good,
it.
man.
Yeah, I liked it.
What for the audience, which album was it again?
It was. Let me see, because I moved away from
It was
the.
their new one,
Yeah, it
right?
was like
Their
their newer
newest
one.
one?
It is by Polaris. It was Fatalism.
Yeah. And for folks listening, this is metalcore. So if you
Yeah.
like metalcore, take Edward's review for what it's worth for you. And if you're interested, check it
Yeah,
out.
pretty good.
Polaris, great metalcore
Pretty
band.
good.
Yeah.
The song Dissipate on it, the best song. So try that song out, and if you like that, then go at it, because most of the songs are that good on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like their album, The Mortal Coil, and I really like the song Relapse off of that
Okay.
album. That's a great. I think that's the first song I ever heard by them. And then Dusk Today off that album is also a great one. Awesome. And rest in peace. I think their singer or drummer died
Oh,
a
that
couple
sucks,
years ago. I
dude.
can't remember.
Well, rest in peace to them.
Yeah.
Also, while we're doing rest in
I
peace,
think it
rest in
was the
peace.
drummer.
Rest in peace to this actor that passed away. I'm sorry, my name. I'm like blanking on his name. Robert Duvall. Rest in peace to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit.
And an interesting thing that I wanted to mention, again, R.I.P. Robert Duvall, known for his roles in The Godfather and in Heart of Darkness. I forget the name of the movie. Do you remember the name of that movie? That Heart of Darkness movie?
I don't think so.
Did you ever see that movie? Like that Coppola like war movie? I forget the name of that damn movie.
Oh, Heart of Darkness.
I'm looking it up, like
Shit.
war movie, like name Apocalypse Now.
You're not talking. You're not talking about Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse
you
Now.
Are?
Yeah, Apocalypse Now.
That's what you were blanking on?
Yes,
That's so
Apocalypse
funny.
Now. But something interesting, there is that scene at the end of The Godfather where they all leave the table. John Cazale, James Caan, Robert Duvall, and Al Pacino stays on the table. And in the sequence in which these guys leave the table, they've passed away. Like the brothers,
Oh
the
shit.
four brothers, like John Cazale died first, he left the table first. Then James Caan died, and he also left second. Robert Duvall left third, and he died now. And the only one left on the table at the end of the movie is Pacino. There's like a little bit of a
Yeah.
photo of it. Yeah, very fascinating, dude.
Wow.
Very
That's
fascinating.
spooky, dude.
Mm.
And Pacino has to be next. He's the only one
he's
left.
the only one left.
When Pacino dies, I'll cry.
Yeah, he's
I
an
will cry for
incredible
Pacino.
actor, Pacino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Rest in peace. Right. Yeah, I did hear about that. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall. Tom Hagen from The Godfather.
Yep.
And yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. Falling Down, Apocalypse Now. all the Godfather movies.
Yeah.
He was their lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, man, legend. Sling Blade, right? He was in Sling Blade,
I I
I
I
believe.
blank on that movie, man.
No, he wasn't in Sling Blade. It's sitting here, but it's on the Google page when you look him up. But what does Google lie? Oh no, he is in that. He is in Sling Blade. Okay,
Is it really? I
you
blank
wouldn't
on that
think so
movie.
because that was some indie film.
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, the band I was trying to think of, the electronic group was The Prodigy. They were a big one in the 90s.
Okay.
But yeah, they got some awesome stuff. But Jack, go for it, man. Movies, games, music. What you been up
What
to?
I got, what I've been playing, started playing a little bit of Arc Raiders. It's kind of taken the gaming world by storm a little bit. It's a
Yeah.
new extraction shooter. Kind of been dabbling in that and playing Valorant still, but Arc Raiders is fun because it's like you can kind of go in. People are generally like pretty friendly, and you can talk. It's got proximity chat, so that's kind of fun to like just kind of like talk to random people and also like mess with them. But you could kind of go in and be friendly, do your thing, get your shit, get out. Or like what I like to do every now and then is just go in and just be a complete and utter scumbag. And like, dude, I had the like this one match where I would just like pretend I'm friendly with people and squat up with them. The second they turn their back, just like unload a full clip into the back of their head, and they just like on the ground cussing me out. Like, yeah, but they talk a lot of crap when I downed them, and just being a complete scumbag in those kind of games is fun because like uh, people just give you the best reaction. So I've been enjoying that game quite a bit, but it's pretty time consuming to build up to stuff. Um,
An
Anime that's been
extraction
coming.
shooter.
What is an extraction shooter?
Yeah.
So basically, it's like you go into like the map. They're kind of quick, like 20 minutes to 25-minute maps. The way it works is like the map is kind of like coded with like different areas. So you have a couple different maps you can play, and you can go into certain locations that have like mechanical parts or like technological parts, or they have like residential items you can scavenge, and you scavenge through the items and try to find what you're looking for to upgrade like your weapons, to upgrade your gear. You try to find blueprints, you can craft new things, and so you get a bunch of materials. But if you die, you aren't able to bring them back to like base. So basically, you have to extract them out by getting to like these elevator sections or like these trains. But like often, like those trains and like areas either have other players or they have like PVE enemies, like drones that try to like turret shoot you and shit. And some of them are insane. So it's like you're kind of stacked up against the odds sometimes on trying to like get your stuff and get out of there. So it's like I was saying, you can kind of like get all your loot and try to get out, or you can just try to like kill other people and take all their stuff and then
Which is the
eventually get
more
out.
it's the more fun way, isn't it? Just to kill, just
Oh,
to
it's
shit
so
on
much
other
more.
people who are trying to extract
Oh,
their loot.
Oh, it's amazing. I had this one round where I just was like a scumbag. I won over the trust of like three people and killed all three, took all their stuff, and they were just so mad. So like that's, I mean, there's not a lot of games you can ruin somebody's day. I feel like you can ruin somebody's day
Yeah,
on
dude,
that game.
100%. Yeah, I played a little
So
bit
that's
of it.
pretty fun.
I feel like I've heard your day ruined a couple times
Oh,
over these
100%.
past couple weeks. Yeah.
100%, man. It's the freaking worst. After you spend 15 minutes looting and trying to get all this stuff, and then you're running back, and some clown just guns you
Snipes
down
you
and
down.
teabags you, and then just starts sucking shit over your body.
Oh
And then
god.
he just like the animation. So like if you like hold a button to like knock out the person you have done, basically they just take this like they like just take this huge wind up and just sucker punch you in the face, and you just go down and you're out for the count. It's humiliating.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But that's how you turn to
I
the
remember
dark side, dude.
teabagging. I remember teabagging back in the Halo days. Just mash that B button after you
Hell
kill
yeah.
somebody.
That
Back in the,
was essential.
those Xbox 360 days. Yeah.
Good old days. Other than that, Jujutsu Kaisen has season 3 that's
That's
coming
right.
out
That's right.
currently week to week, which is pretty awesome because season 2 kind of led you to a point where like a very interesting like characters reintroduced. There was like a movie where they kind of go into the backstory of a certain character, and then through season 1 and 2 you don't really see him, and now he's kind of in the mix. And it's just like rapidly evolving the plot.
This
So
is the
season
last
3's
season,
been
right?
great. I don't know if it's the
Because
last
the manga
season
ended like
planned.
at some point last year. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't think it is the last season. Yeah.
Might not be. There might be like another one after these. They always squeeze the shit out of these things, man. But I know the
Yeah,
manga
it says
ended.
it says it's like part 1, so maybe 4th season will be
Ah,
the
they
last
always
one.
do that. Like they started doing that shit with Attack on Titan, where it was like
Part
final
1,
season,
part
part
2.
one, part two. It's like, god damn it, just end the show. End the show. Wrap it up.
I
To end the
know.
show?
Wrap it up, man.
But they've got that, which I've been enjoying, and then Hell's Paradise is also another great
I heard about
anime
that.
that,
Yeah.
yep, has a second season coming out right now that I've been watching as well. Really been enjoying both of those. And then happened to be at the airport at a bookstore and saw the manga for Death Note. So I've been starting to collect Death Note collection on my company's dime, unbeknownst to them.
Nice.
And I'm reading those because I've heard some people saying like, having mixed opinions between reading the actual manga versus the adaptation and favoring the manga. So I really
Interesting.
I really enjoy
I don't
that
know.
series, so I want to read it.
It's interesting with that manga shit because sometimes people are just like purists. Because I've read enough of the manga, including like the end of the manga, to know that it's all the fucking same thing. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people are just like purists with manga, and they just be like, "Oh, the
For
manga."
sure.
But it depends. There are certain anime where the manga is like leagues above the anime. Like Tokyo Ghoul, for
Tokyo
instance.
Ghoul.
Yes, Tokyo
Yeah,
Ghoul is like the manga is like leagues above that fucking anime. That anime sucks.
that's one I really want to get as well.
Dude, you haven't have you read Tokyo Ghoul?
Mm-mm.
But you've
No, that's
heard
what I'm
about
saying.
it.
I
That the
want to get
manga's
the.
yeah, Tokyo
Yeah, I've
Ghoul is
heard
like
that the manga is way better.
yeah, it's the poster child. Tokyo Ghoul is the poster child of the manga is just way better, and it is because Zui Yoshida's art is fucking impeccable. So yeah, the manga is way better. I recommend that. Go ahead and read that for sure.
Okay, and then as far as TV shows, um, binge the hell out of the Pit to where I'm watching
Hey, there
things
we
as they come out.
go. There we
It
go.
was it was it was insane. Like we watched it like the whole
Dude,
first
was I
season,
not
like
right?
all 15
Didn't
episodes
didn't
when we were
wasn't I?
snowed in one weekend.
Yeah, wasn't I right?
Huh?
Didn't I tell you?
It was fantastic. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. I really fucking like that show.
yeah, yeah, dude. And you have to take it. You have
And
to
season 2 so far has been good.
because you have to take the shit that I say with a grain of salt. Because I know that when I mentioned the show, I told you like to me everything always has something that I'm not happy about. So like for that first season, there were elements of it that I was not happy, and I mentioned that a little bit when I said the show kind of sandbags a little bit. But it's a great show, dude. Like it's a great show. I'm happy that
Yeah,
you're
I
enjoying it.
mean that first season really freaking just ups the ante towards the end. Like I mean, it was just insane. So I'm really curious to see what they have for season 2,
Yeah.
but a little disappointed that I found it at a time where I can't just binge
Binge
season
season
2 as
two,
well. And
yeah,
I got to
yeah.
wait but now me and my girlfriend can look forward to watching a new episode every
Yeah,
week, and we'll
there's
probably be watching tonight's
yeah,
episode
dude, and there's a
tomorrow.
flavor to that, you know. Sadly for me, like me and my girlfriend, we've not been watching it because I've been away from her for a little bit, but there's a flavor to it, you know. Like we've been watching it episode by episode, like you guys, and we've kind of been like, ah, man, I missed the binge, but it's nice having like that episode that you're like, it's coming on Thursday, you know.
I agree. The one thing that is nice about binging that show in particular is just because it's like every episode is an hour.
Hmm.
When you binge it, like the continuity is really good because you just like really know what's like happening. You don't have to really watch any of the recaps.
Yeah.
Now we're like, okay, we got to watch the
Yeah,
recap
now,
every
now you
week
have
just to
to.
make sure like we're locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. Good show, man. Good
Yeah.
show.
There is something really nice about that week to week experience where you're just looking forward to the next episode. Like it is really nice.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to that with the new season of The Boys. That'll be the final season. I don't know if I had to guess. I think this last season's going to be a disaster though, because just with the trajectory, like the first 3 seasons were great, and then season 4 was just like, "Nyeh." And I don't see them just steering that ship around, man. I don't see it, but I guess we'll see. But all right, yeah. For me, I actually didn't watch any movies this past week other than the movie of the week. But I did a week or two ago, or like a week and a half ago. I started reading a new novel called Coffin Moon. It's a it's a horror novel from came out last year. It was pretty big. It actually got a huge um cosign from Stephen King, who said it was, quote, exciting, suspenseful, horrifying, and written at a flurry of punches pace. And then there was another quote that he put, oh, grabs you by the throat and doesn't relent. No, that was someone else. Anyway, Stephen King, he had another great, what do you call it? Support, quote, supporting the book. But yeah, Coffin Moon, pretty good so far. I'm like, maybe at the 60% mark. But basically, the concept of it is that you got this. It takes place in 1975, and then you got this Vietnam vet who owns a bar. He's kind of trying to stay sober. He's got a wife. He's got some in-laws that he runs the bar with, and then he has an adoptive daughter who basically is his wife's niece, I think, and they're responsible for her after her mom murdered her father because he was abusive and is now in prison. So they're looking after her. And then basically, long story short, the main character has a poor encounter with a vampire, and the vampire pretty much ruins his life. So now him and his adoptive daughter are on a quest for blood, and trying to repay blood for blood, as Hector Salamanca would say.
Blood for blood,
Um,
Salamanca blood, Salamanca
yeah,
Marty.
sangre por sangre. Yeah. So yeah, it's good so far. It's really gritty. Yeah, it's solid. A really good exploration of yeah, just trauma and revenge cycles. Yeah, it's almost like the guy before he wrote this watched that great Rob Ager video that we loved about revenge
Mhm.
cycles. Because yeah, it seems to be exploring that to a really effective extent. But yeah, it's really solid. I'm liking it quite a bit. Can't wait to finish it and get the full read. And then yeah, nonfiction. On the nonfiction end of things, I'm reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a book about building good habits and sticking to them. The pretty much the basic premise of the book is one that I really like, which is make your good habits attractive. And because basically we all run off of dopamine. And if you really hate doing something, you're just not going to stick with it. So you got to make your habits attractive and also satisfying to do, And, I thought about that and I was like, yeah, that really is true, and like one thing I'm really, really good about, for example, is going to the gym. Like I really never miss a gym day or a workout day. And I work out 4 or 5 times a week. And, I don't hate it. If I hated it, I really don't think I would go that much. You know what I mean? So it's a good book. So if you're looking to build some good habits, I would definitely check it out. And then a couple that I haven't mentioned, but these are a little bit like 1 or 2 months old, but Fallout season 2, I haven't finished it, but I started it. But I don't know when I'm going to finish it. There's just something with Fallout that I don't know, man. I really liked that first season, but the second season, there's just nothing really pulling me back toward it. So I don't know. I think I'm in the minority on that because people love this show, but I don't know. And then one that I was pleasantly surprised by that I got to circle back to because I've been on a hiatus, but I started it back around the holidays was the new that Daredevil Born Again series that came out on Disney Plus. And I was really skeptical. I'm a huge fan of that original Daredevil series. That was a Netflix original back in the day. I think it's great. It's one of the best superhero properties, media properties out there. And I was like, I don't know, man. Disney's gonna Disneyfy this new Daredevil. No, it really feels like it kind of picks up right where they left off. I mean, it feels like Daredevil season 4. Honestly, I think it's granted, I'm only 3-4 episodes in before I kind of stopped watching it, but I am gonna circle back to it. But I've been on a Banshee run lately with that
That's
show
right,
Banshee. So
Banshee, dude. That's right.
yeah. So and I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't make a lot of time to watch TV though. I'm like my priority is always writing and then also reading. So I don't know. I'm pretty bad. I'm like molasses getting through TV shows these days. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, dude, welcome to the club. The no TV club. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I know, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing, I think, because I just after work, it's like, I hit the gym and then I get 2 more hours of writing and then, a good hour of reading, and by then it's like midnight,
Yeah.
and it's like, probably just going to bed now.
Yeah.
I mean,
No time to
maybe
watch
I'll
an hour
maybe
long fucking episode of something.
yeah, it's like maybe some days there's some part of the day where I sneak in an episode of something, but yeah, it's not a priority. And believe me, I like e- honestly, like as an author, I fully admit, like I would a lot of times I would rather, unless I'm reading a great book, I would rather just sit down and veg out in front of the TV. Um, but not that obviously I get pleasure out of even a decent book or a good book, but you know, it's really only those fantastic books, those ones that are like unputdownable that you'd pick reading over vegging out in front of the TV, because there's just more effort required in reading, and your
Yeah.
brain always wants to do the least effort
Yes.
required.
Yeah.
Um, but as an author, it's like I have to read. You can't be an author and not read books. You just can't. Um, but anyway, guys, that's the show. We'll cut you
Hey.
loose here. Edward, what you got for us next week?
For next week, we have another recent film. But another, I guess, like off the beaten path pick, I guess, on my part, in the sense that I want us to watch a movie by the name of Sorry Baby from 2025. Sorry Baby, that's the name of the movie. The premise,
Sorry, baby. I don't know if I've heard of this.
yeah, it's like about like a young woman who feels stuck. I guess it says Agnes feels stuck on like her best friend Liddy, who moved to New York, is now expecting a baby. Agnes still lives in New England, now working as a professor at her alma mater. A bad thing happens to her, and despite her best efforts, life hasn't gotten back on track. It's according to the genre, a dramedy, so a comedy drama.
Nice. This looks pretty good. I'm liking it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cute
Everybody,
kitten on the front cover.
yeah, everybody for the next week, it's Sorry Baby. Be here or be square.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
All right.